Southern Pacific Transportation Company spins book, dated 5/28/82. This shows it's going to be zones 86 through 89. I did the Chino branch separately. That's 90 and 91. So Southern Pacific Main Line, San Gabriel through Montclair. This tells you what definition of spins is. This is basically how Southern Pacific crews were told where to pick up and drop off train cars for loading and unloading. Here's some of the codes that are listed. Storage track, crane spotting, dock spotting, that'd be for boxcars, auto ramps for loading, auto carriers, etc., etc. The first page of the way these things are set up is you'll have this tell you industry served. And this industry served could be Southern Pacific itself or the different companies. So, for example, King Fiber Glass Corporation. Their spur was 147 feet long, held 2 cars. And they had 2 different spots that they put the cars. Their track number is 8611. So all the way down the line, you have different companies. Whammo. Hey, remember Whammo? I think they're the ones that made the Frisbee. Lead track. And then there's a lot of handwriting on this, so along the way, companies changed, so they changed the name of the company, the track stayed the same. So it went from one company to another company to another company. Howard's TV and Appliance. They're still around, I think. Next page. El Monte Siding. Crown City Plating. So I got all these different companies. Our Blamos Beverage Company had room for 5 cars. Vaughn's Grocery, look at that. 13 cars. Vaughn's Produce only got 3 cars. Delicatessen got 1. So you can see how long those tracks are. Most of this subdivision, this is the Alhambra sub, is wiped out. There's not a lot of businesses along here anymore. So, you're looking at the model something 1982 was a good time. I mean, look at this. Bell Corporation. Where's that Ball? That looks like Ball Corporation. 680 feet, a lot of spots to drop off cars. Second track for Ball. Looks like Ball is a popular customer. We got OH Cruise in Milling. The first OH Cruise was in El Monte. The second one was in Ontario, and the last one was in Colton. And then I think they moved to Northern California, or went out of business, one or the other. They used to have them make up a special grain mix for my cattle, and I sold it in my store way back when I was in agriculture. Okay, that's the last page, and then we go to the maps. Okay, the first map here, this shows Margarita Avenue. Here's Marengo Avenue. Mission Road. Right about in here is where the San Gabriel Mission is. This is before the trench. Now there's a trench through here and there's no sidings and it's a single track. There's Walnut Grove Avenue. Continuing. Walnut Grove's in the crease here. Shows the Lower Azusa Road. Tracks coming down. A lot of these tracks, like I said, are gone today. Yeah, there's a little diamond right there. Continuing and coming into El Monte. I did the State Street line. The State Street line comes in farther down, I believe. We'll see. Anyways, there's Ramona Avenue, Tyler. Yeah, State Street line came in here and through here. This is now Metrolink operating range here, and then here down to Bassett, and then up onto the old Baldwin Park branch. Both of which I've already done other videos on. Continuing on, more maps. Here it goes going under the 10 freeway, Garvey. This track is still there, except it's closer to Durfee than Garvey. There's a steel company in there. Goes under 605 freeway, Railroad Avenue. Most of these tracks are gone because right about here is where the Baldwin Park branch comes in at Bassett. And these tracks go in for Metrolink. Excuse me. Still battling a cold. Coming through, we have Bassett Siding, Bassett Team Track, Weyerhaeuser. If you see where it says, I haven't come across any on this one yet, they're spiked. That means they were spiked out of service, and then eventually, if no one moved in there, tracks were removed. More name changes. Classic Foods. Love their pickles. Lee Track. More lumber companies. Georgia Pacific. They're in the lumber business. Bar Lumber. They're in the lumber business. Treasure Chest Advertising. No clue. Dooley Redwood Lumber. M&M Lumber. Lee Track. A couple more companies have changed their names. Small tracks, capacity of 1 car. Back to maps. This here's where the Baldwin Park branch would start. This says Zone 81, Part L. That goes up there to Baldwin Park branch. And here's miscellaneous businesses. Now today, after the 2 tracks go off to Baldwin Park branch, some of these tracks have been removed. They elevated this line, and they have a siding running the length of the elevated line to serve companies that are north of the tracks. Continuing. A lot of these businesses are out of business, but I think there's still 1 or 2 lumber yards along here. But in 1982, heyday of the Southern Pacific, lots and lots of people moving stuff by rail. Okay, coming into industry served. This is coming into just before the industry yard. Steel Lumber, California Steel, Truck Company, Bulk Freightways, Truck Company, more tracks. Leading storage track, 4,500 feet. That's a lot of track. More tracks. Lead track. Schwinn Sales. I have a friend, Jay Roberts, was in the Schwinn business. There's one of his locations I bet he worked out of. More tracks. Neutral Products Incorporated. That's a dog food company. More Schwinn Sales. Furniture. BDF of Division Carrier, whatever that is. Seating Industry Team Track. PMT Auto Transport. Air Products, Vacant, Tire and Rubber, Home Furnishings. And then we're coming into the industry yard. Here's all your track numbers. Old track numbers, new track numbers, and how long they are. Scene of industry, TCC, mainline, and yard track numbers. There's a hump lead, mainline, siding, legs of the Y, Los Nitos Y, east crossover. And here is the yard in its heyday. Los Nitos branch comes down off of here. Did a video on that. There's a Y here. There's a lot of businesses up in here. And there's the yard. And the yard continues in this direction. Here's where PMT was at. For Autorex. You're trying to get a better shot there. Valley Boulevard at the very top of the page. In this case, you are looking north. Very rare for a Southern Pacific spin book. You very seldom get north at the top of the page. There's a couple of businesses in here. Valley Boulevard all the way down to Nogales. Then things get interesting. Dart Warehouse. Smith Food King. Not in California anymore. They're in Nevada and Utah. Walnut Team Track, Libby Lead. Owens, Illinois, Libby Glass. Owens, Illinois, Libby Glass. We have more businesses. Again, CTC siding in the Pomona, Simpson Paper. Potlatch, Simpson Paper. Pomona Storage Tracks. Pomona House Track. Oops. Kind of cut it off. There you are. Start at the bottom. Come up. Show everything. Again. Sorry about that. These copies are harder to deal with in the small books. Okay, continuing. Pomona Team Track. Gary Avenue Team Track. Sierra Tissue. Montclair Passing Track. Montclair Team Track. And then Spike Tracks out of service. Okay, continuing along Valley Boulevard in Scene of Industry. That shows our various businesses. Coming all the way down to Brea Canyon Road. After this part here, there's a whole bunch of scribbling on here. So Brea Canyon Road is to the far left. This shows spikes. This is Union Pacific Track and Union Pacific customers. The UP track here. And then there's a little balloon type track here and here. Then here there's a note for this track number is Builders Emporium. And it shows a main line going across Pomona Boulevard. Not anymore. I think 2 years ago, they cut the tracks here and connect them to the Los Angeles sub. And these tracks out of here are out of service. And the land went to, I think, Cal Poly. And then coming over here, the tracks coming across Temple, out of service. And there's a whole section where they took out. So now the very end of this branch is a storage track. This comes down, connects to the Union Pacific, or it used to. I don't know if it still does. This track here is gone. There's a new warehouse there. Here's Ganesha Boulevard and Highway 71. 8970, there's a fence across it. 8972 is still there, but I don't know if it's in use. And then, like I said, this in here is more of a storage area. and then the main line reconnects just about Hamilton. And then the dotted line along the bottom is the Los Angeles subdivision of the Union Pacific. Okay, we're continuing on. You see tracks along here, Union Pacific down here. Continuing, here's Palomares Avenue. Valley Boulevard's become Holt. This comes down, shows that where the Chino Branch breaks off at Reservoir. Chino Branch has its own video that shows how it comes off. So Union Pacific coming across that way. Coming into Montclair. Far left is East End Avenue. Shows the tracks coming in. Central Overpass. Now you got pictures of a train derailment that were over here back in 86. I think 87. Massive train derailment right there on the SP. Then here's San Antonio Avenue, and this in here would have been OH Cruise. And then that's it for the end of this one. And I've got, there's another video I've done, takes this, the Alhambra sub, all the way to Bryn Mawr. There you are.